So the Omicron variant is coming in and it's been found in more than a dozen countries as of now. Now, at this moment, it is viable to ask, how is this going to affect your education as an international student? Now, this video is applicable to both people who have already joined their semester in the US, Canada, UK, or Australia. And it's also applicable to people who are now, especially applicable to people, I would say, who are now going in for their education in one of these countries in 2022. So if you're one of those people, continue watching. Guys, we're going to be covering 4 countries over here: US, Canada, Australia, and UK. All 4 of these are some of the top most study abroad destinations. I'm going to be telling you my opinion. Should you go and study in one of these countries? If yes, which ones should you pick? And again, I'm also going to be telling you how this Omicron variant is going to affect your education in one of these countries. So let's begin with the USA. Now, let me actually tell you first off, the US, like many other countries which happen to be the top study abroad destinations, has also banned a couple of countries. So you have to make sure that you're not traveling through or you have not been in one of those countries in the last 14 days. Now, these are the list of countries on your screen right now. Most of these, as you will see, are from Africa. Some nearby countries are also present apart from that, but overall, these are the countries. If you're from one of these or if you're traveling through one of these, you will not be allowed to enter the United States of America. The second thing I can tell you is, based on my experience working with clients, extremely limited visa slots are available not only in India but all over the world. No matter where you are, if you want a slot to go ahead and book your visa interview for the United States at one of their consulates or the embassy, you are going to be struggling with it. And in terms of your arrival, both vaccinated and non-vaccinated people have to test before they depart to the United States. And this has to be 1 day before they actually depart. Very important point to keep in mind. Do not go ahead without doing this. Now, my recommendation would be, hey, look, you can still study in the United States in 2022 based on the previous trends. Last year, even though there was a shortage of slots, they did let a lot of students in, and based on my experience, everyone who worked with me already had a slot. So I would not say that you need to be worried about it, but yes, if you get rejected once, then yeah, that is the possibility where you may not be able to make it to the United States for at least the next 6 months. So one thing to keep in mind over there. So make sure you're prepared for your visa interview and you don't mess up over there. If you would like to get a slot, move fast. Literally, do whatever you can, but do it fast. One thing to keep in mind over here, when I mentioned both vaccinated and non-vaccinated people earlier, is that the CDC has almost made it mandatory for you to get vaccinated before you travel to the United States. There are a very limited loopholes that I have talked about in one of my previous videos, but again, those probably aren't worth looking into for the most part, and I would highly recommend get fully vaccinated in order to travel to the US if you aren't already. The next country we're going to be talking about is Canada. Now, in terms of Canada, they do have a list of banned countries again, as you can see on the screen. Even if you are fully vaccinated, the arrival testing is mandatory. You have to get tested on arrival, which is actually pretty good as compared to the non-vaccinated travelers, because if you look at them, number one, there's a 14-day quarantine that they have to go through, and on top of that, not only do they go through the arrival testing, they also go through the 8th-day testing. So yes, you have to get 2 tests done, and again, there's a lot of other complications. You have to stay at the one of their designated centers at least until your arrival testing result comes in. So all these points have to be kept in mind. Again, my recommendation: get fully vaccinated before you travel. And based on my previous experience, there will be limited visa processing when it comes to student visas. There were certainly bans previously due to which some students were stuck in their home country. They could not move to Canada, and that's something that you need to keep in mind. But again, they will let you in. That's still one good scenario. Canada is one of the good countries again in terms of supporting international students. They have done that previously in 2021, and I expect the same of them in 2022, even with the Omicron variant coming in. Now let's talk about Australia. You already know, probably if you've seen one of my previous videos, how I feel about Australia. But let me actually tell you what's going on. They were to open their borders on the 1st of December. Many people had sold their cars, sold their houses, and they were ready to move to Australia for the most part. They, some people were living on rent. They killed their lease agreement, etc., etc. And these were mostly students only. They had to go to Australia, but unfortunately what they did was, on the last day, they actually made it such that you cannot move to Australia until December 15th now, because that's when the borders are scheduled to open next. Again, we do not know anything about whether they will certainly open or not, because Australia has certainly been very non-supportive, not only just to the travelers but also the students. It seems like they do not care about their future. Their students who have actually enrolled in one of their colleges, the colleges in their home country, of course, of Australia. But it seems like it is definitely going to be a tough spot even if you want to go in. In fact, travel from Japan Japan and South Korea was actually allowed. They had some bubble agreements which they have now forgone. They're not really basically following those now anymore. So until December 15th, basically the borders are shut, closed. My recommendation, stay away from Australia if you are an international student. Do not rely on the country for 2022. Things are still not stable. We do not know if they will let you in. Last year, a lot of students were toiling in their home countries and they were literally up all night studying online classes and paying full tuition. I would not recommend Australia. Coming to the final country in our list, the United Kingdom. So yes, the UK also has a list of banned countries as present on your screen. If you're from one of these countries or you're traveling through one of these countries, I would say stay clear of the UK because they would not let you enter. So UK has been a little less strict. Basically, all you need to do is you need to get a PCR test once you arrive in the UK. Now this PCR test is mandatory. Again, I'm pretty sure that you've already gone through a RT-PCR or PCR test previously. Simple process, but again, based on my previous experience, I'll tell you that the visa processing will be a little bit limited, but international students, you will still have the support from UK. Based on my previous experience with clients and students who have actually gone to the UK previously, I can tell you 2022 will still be better off than countries like Australia. So you can still continue to have plans if you're going to the UK. That was my quick update on how the Omicron variant is going to be affecting you and your education if you're an international student. More updates on this coming soon on this channel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for such updates and comment down below if you have any update for us that we may have missed. Thank you so much for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one.